Welcome to another Joe Stunner Boxing at dinner time. I'm on my lunch break again. Um, just been reading this week's boxing news. And it's a very interesting article about Phil Martin and Champs Camp in Manchester. Uh, Now, if you don't know who Phil Martin was, initially he was a light heavyweight domestic level fighter, fought in the 70s. Lost to Johnny Frankham and beat he beat Johnny Frankham, that's right, but lost to Bunny Johnson. Good domestic level fighter, fought a lot of guys. Didn't get any sort of big opportunities, but you know he made a bit of a splash domestically on the domestic scene in the 70s, and good fighter Phil Martin. Finished with, I think it was 14 wins and 8 defeats, something like that. But he had a winning record. Wasn't a journeyman. Gave it sort of like a domestic level gatekeeper, I suppose. And then he retired from boxing, and he ended up starting this thing called the Champs Camp in Manchester's Moss Side. And if you're from that area, you don't need me to tell you that it was a very rough area. This was back in the early 90s, sort of late, was it the end of the 80s, early 90s. He started Champs Camp, begged, borrowed, and stole money to start it up in one of the roughest areas in Britain. Lots of shootings and gang involvement and drugs and all this sort of crap in Moss Side. And Martin started the Champs Camp in order to give a lot of these disillusioned, lost kids a chance to do something a little bit more constructive. And a lot of them picked it up. And the Champs Camp grew. Now, I remember sitting ringside. The first time I ever heard of the Champs Camp was, would it be 91, 90, when Maurice Corr, who would go on to be British light heavyweight champion, and I think Maurice Corr fought for a world title, like a WBO title against, I can't remember who it was, Michalczewski maybe? But anyway, the point was, like, this was the first time I'd ever heard of the Champs Camp. I was sitting ringside on one of these leisure centre cards, and Nicky Piper, who would go on to be Commonwealth light heavyweight champ. He also fought Nigel Benn for the WBC super middleweight title and got stopped. I think it was the 11th round. But at the time he was being brought on and groomed as a future champ. And he gets in the ring with Maurice Corr, who was completely unknown from the Champs Camp, had no no backing at all, but very, very good fighter, Maurice Corr. And with the very first punch in the first round, Nicky Piper knocks Maurice Corr down. I was ringside. It was right in front of me. I was like, "Fucking hell, who's this geese? He can punch." I'd never heard of Corr. I knew about Piper, but Corr got up and boxed, gave Piper all sorts of problems, and ended up, I think it was a 6-round draw, but he definitely got a draw. This is Maurice Corr, and that was the first time I'd seen a Champs Camp fighter. I think there were several on that card. I can't remember who the other one was, but that kind of sums up the Champs Camp attitude. They were away fighters. They'd get knocked down, they'd get up, and they'd fight. And it's almost like they were going down the journeyman route, but a lot of them were winning and testing themselves, and they came to win. They didn't come to go the distance or collect their paycheck. They come to win. And they ended up with a load of British champions. Paul Burke was one, I think. Carl Thompson was a Champs Camp fighter. Like I say, Maurice Corr was another one. I'm trying to think of the others. There were several. I'm sure I've missed a couple out, but they ended up being more than just journeymen. And the camp became the Champs Camp, the gym that Phil Martin had started. It really became an established, renowned, respected hotbed for young talent. And Phil Martin died in 1994 of cancer, but he passed on an awful lot of knowledge to people who became trainers. Joe Gallagher was a Champs Camp. I suppose you'd call him a graduate, if you like, of the Champs Camp. Billy Graham was another one. Another very good trainer from Manchester area, and the legacy that Phil Martin has left, people in boxing understand it and they respect it, but it's not as well known as it should be. It's kind of like, you know, Brendan Ingle, fantastic trainer. What he did with, you know, with the whole Ingle gym, the Winkerbank gym. I mean, it's a real legacy, but at the same time, I think Phil Martin should be respected equally, you know, in an equal way. He did an awful lot for a very, very deprived area in Manchester, and has left a real good boxing legacy. Oh, I think Frank Grant. Was Frank Grant a Champs Camp fighter? He's another British champ. I can't remember. Frank Grant was a tough guy, real tough guy. Stopped Harold Graham for a British title. Defended it several times. I think he was Champs Camp. Anyway, I just thought I'd do this video about Phil Martin because I think he deserves more respect than he gets, and much respect to him. And I think you'll find, you know, people like Carl Thompson and Maurice Core, they really speak very, very highly of him as someone who had offered something more to a very deprived area than just, you know, guns and gangs and all that shit. So big up Phil Martin. Died in '94, but left a hell of a legacy. What do you think? Do you know? Have you ever had experience of watching those Champs Camp fighters fight? There's another one I saw. I can't remember the name of him. I can't remember which one it was. They always came to fight. They always came to win, even though they were in the away corner. Leave your comments below. Thank you for watching this video. If you're new to the channel and you could subscribe, hit that little subscribe button. Takes a second. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you dislike the video, hit the dislike button. But thanks for your time, whatever you feel. I'm going back to my dinner, finish my dinner now, and then I'll go back to work. I'll try not to fall asleep. Catch you later. Much love, and you take care of yourselves. Bye for now.